for joining us today on the Road to Recovery. I'm your host, Ronda Jackson, serial entrepreneur and small business advocate. And today's guest, Chanel Frampton, the founder of Academic Ballin', is going to talk to us today about relationships. And you guys, come on, emerging, established entrepreneurs, you know you can't do this alone. And these are epic times, and we need to pull together and rally together. And so the discussion today, as we progress through all of this pandemic and mayhem, will be about relationships. Welcome, Chanel.
Hi, thank you, Rhonda. So excited to be here today.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you for joining us. Well, for those that aren't familiar with academic balling or you as a guest, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
So, yes, I'm the founder of Academic Balling. We're an organization that seeks to help student athletes receive academic scholarships as well as sports scholarships. So, to help provide assistance with unmet financial needs for minority students.
Oh, that's beautiful. And you know, the one way I like to start the show is asking the guest if they have one word they would use to describe now. What would your one word be?
So, my word is perseverance.
Ah, say a little more.
Um, I think we're going to have to persevere to get through, to pivot as business owners, to make sure that we continue to be successful even in this climate or another climate that might happen. And so, just being um, faithful to what we know that God has called us to do
I love that.
and continue to go forward
I love that.
and partner with those around us that can help us move forward.
I
So,
like that. And so you just talked about two huge relationships that are, no, they're foundational, right? I know that a lot of shows
right.
don't explore faith or faith-based conversations, but
Mhm.
your belief in something, in anything higher than yourself, let me just categorize it that way, right? That sets a litmus and a certain fortitude for your journey, right? Fortitude.
Mhm.
So when you mentioned God, what were you thinking? What as far as a relationship?
So, for my academic journey, I know that it was nothing but God that got me through Howard, that got me to USC. Um, I don't know how in detail I should get in that, but I knew that I was supposed to go to Howard. We'll take 2 minutes on it. I
Okay.
knew that I was supposed to go to Howard. My family didn't want to pay for me to go back east. I had scholarships out here, but I just knew in my heart that's where I was supposed to go. And they didn't give me any money, but I just said, I know God is taking me here. This is where I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to go here. And I kept proclaiming that at 17, 18-year-old, just getting on my mom's nerves, right?
Okay.
And one day she finally called me out and said, okay, I'm not paying for you to go. I paid for private school your whole life. Tell me or prove to me that they gave you money. And I called up, just still with my faith that this is where I was supposed to be. And I called up and I said, hi, this is Chanel Frampton. I have a $10,000 grant. I was just checking on the status of it. I don't know where this $10,000 grant came from.
All right.
Probably goes.
Mhm.
So they put me on hold. I'm sweating, sweating, sweating because I'm just nervous,
Okay.
not knowing what's about to happen. They come back on the phone and they say, um, I don't know where you got a $10,000 grant from. That doesn't exist. But what you did receive was a $6,000 Howard Hilltop scholarship and a $4,000 grant that equals $10,000. And maybe that's where you got the number from. And I just dropped the phone.
Wow.
Knew it. I knew it. I knew it. God is faithful. He
Yes.
showed. I told you. I told you. And it was a transcendent moment for me to know, to really listen to my inner self, to understand that what God was telling me to do and how to navigate
Yes.
through not only my academics but just through my career, and really just pay attention to that inner voice. So that kind of led me into where I am today. just constantly listening to what the voice is saying
Yeah,
inside.
yeah, I love
The
that.
next step is.
Yes, yes.
So,
And for voice, intuition, guidance,
mhm,
second hand, second eye, whatever.
right.
When you're led, I truly believe that when you're led and you're obedient, the reward is
Mhm,
waiting for you. Him using you as a vessel,
exactly.
him instructing you, and you being open to the tutelage is truly part, guiding your path. And then your path, in addition to that, has led to the organization that you established, the Academic Ballin, which is in part of your legacy. It's a part of his legacy,
Right.
right? And giving and helping others. So were there relationships, or were there continued manifestations of blessings in order to establish Academic Ballin?
Yes, I started a nonprofit called Kingdom Kids with a um a woman that I went to Howard with.
Hmm.
And so we had a relationship and said we want to help out students and do an arts academy and help them, get into college, et cetera. Because I think at the time they were cutting art programs. So we really wanted to focus on that and help, with kids and academic balling. That's how the phrase got was coined during this time working with the nonprofit. And so I look back at that relationship, which led me to USC, which led me to GLAC, which
Ah,
led God then bringing it back, saying, I want academic balling to come back, which brought it back to today.
okay.
Um,
So USC, you're talking about the
mhm.
University of Southern California,
So the
and
University of Southern California, I studied nonprofit management
I
and
see.
public. And I had a degree in public administration, a
Okay, so this
master's.
is this is inbred. Not only is it divine and ordained, this is part of your character. This is who you are. So I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you mentioned GLAC, which is the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce. Yes, I'm trying to
I'm
make sure I
using
got all
all
this
the
right.
acronyms. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Look,
I'm
spell
sorry.
it out on my fingers. I just want to make sure I got it right. So for those of you emerging and established entrepreneurs that aren't as familiar with the Los Angeles landscape, those are two iconic institutions here in Los Angeles. And what I want to suggest, actually, just to segue the conversation for one moment, is those are also relationships, affiliates, and communities. And by communities, I mean spaces that are around the same subject matter, whether it's an industry relationship, through design or construction, or a culture, like the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber. Those are also relationships. So can we take a second, and can you share with us a little bit of the dynamics of what the contributions, the give get, right, that you have by
Mhm.
participating with industry affiliates?
So working with GLAC has been an experience all in itself. When I left USC, I remember interviewing with Kareem Webb, who at the time was the vice chairman, let me not say president, the vice chairman of GLAC,
Okay.
as well as Gene Hale, who was the chairman, as well as Angela. So it was three interviews. But I remember talking to Kareem, and all he kept talking about was legacy,
Ooh, okay.
the legacy of working here and helping the community and working with other Black businesses. And Howard's motto is building the legacy.
Mm,
So this is just like, again, ingrained,
yes.
right? I was, God orders your steps.
Mhm.
And so when they talked about that, it just felt like this was the place that I should be. I definitely can use the skills that I have working in the nonprofit industry, continue working, but expanding my network. I have met so many amazing business owners working here, you included. I'm not going to name anyone because if I leave someone out, that will, I'm not even going to
No, that's all right.
play that game.
Yes.
But I've met so many, and they've been so inspirational and just helpful with their wisdom, life goals, just understanding what they did to make their business successful, learning from them, right? We don't all have to make our own mistakes. We can learn from the network that we have around them. And so, just such a beautiful village within the chamber, and just these beautiful women that I've had the opportunity to meet. And I don't feel that if I wasn't in such a nurturing atmosphere, maybe I wouldn't have been so bold to, I probably would have, but I don't feel that I would have had the same support
Right.
if I had started the organization anywhere else.
Yeah.
Um, so just being around all the creativity, you know, the chamber is so it's so special because no matter what you need or what your needs are, there's a resource for it. So whether it's access to capital, or maybe you need to just spearhead something, or you need to learn how to give your pitch, or you need some technical assistance in an area for your business, or maybe you need help with graphic design, or you need a graphic designer, or you need a project man. I mean, there's so many available resources.
No,
The relationship is
it,
endless.
it's beautiful, Chanel, because there are, I think of them as wells, right? There's wells
Mm-hmm.
within communities where you can go to your point, and draw inspiration, information, and resources. But also, part of that relationship is being willing to pour into the well,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you don't just go and drink from, you don't mind
Mm-hmm.
walking down to the river and bringing back resources. So I think that's the other
Correct.
thing, the platform of legacy and the platform of giving, that space that GLAC comes from, is that it builds on top. So there's a program called the
Mm-hmm.
Business Evolution Program, and all of the business owners are, in my opinion, active participants in the business community, active participants in GLAC, and again, sharing that information. Me creating a platform like Road to Recovery, right? It's for business owners. It's, what are your
Right.
questions? Where do you need help? And finding experts, finding resources like yourself, and then sharing that also outward in the community. And I think that, and then also the next level of that is someone like yourself that has such a layered portfolio of resource and creativity to have created academic balling. So I think this is all full circles, right? Full circle, that whole ego.
Right. So
Hmm.
academic balling is now pouring into the students. So
Hmm.
the stuff that I'm learning from my colleagues and my business professionals, I'm now teaching the students how to have that same business savvy.
Hmm.
Um, One of the legislations that just recently got passed in California was that in 2023, student athletes will be able to make money off of their image, off their likeness. So now they're not just athletes anymore. This is your own business. Like, you literally have changed from when you graduated as a senior from high school. Now you're a brand.
Right.
You own your own brand. Like, how do you maximize the brand? How do you partner with different businesses so that you can be an ambassador, so that you can be paid to eat the Subway sandwich or drink the Gatorade,
Right.
right?
I was thinking the
How,
Wheaties box.
huh?
I was
What did you
thinking
say?
I was thinking the Wheaties box.
Exactly. How do you get on the Wheaties box? How do you become affiliated with Nike? So teaching these students how to own that brand, the branding and the marketing aspect,
Right.
what you put out there. What is the image that you put out there? Not putting everything on social media,
Right.
really catering to a more professional side. And that's something that we try to offer to the students and try
No,
to.
no, I think what I hear you talking about, and business owners can learn from this as well, are the strategic alliances, right?
Mhm.
The whole associative, and who you're connected with, who you could be potentially connected with, because they're
Right.
concerned about their brand too. So you can't just,
Exactly.
yeah, you can't just run up on somebody for an opportunity and you haven't positioned yourself properly. And that's one of the things I admire about the structure and the organization of academic balling, is that you give the students the wherewithal beyond the court or the field or whatever sport that they've interacted with, and beyond academics,
Hmm.
into the boardrooms, into those negotiations, into those opportunities. So that is such a beautiful thing. So speaking of which, if someone is interested in whether it's contributing or understanding better more about the organization, what's the best way to contact you at academic balling?
So the best way is you can reach us at our website, www.academicball.com. So it's
Well,
academicballing.com. And then you can email me at info@academicballing as well, or academicballing@gmail.
I love it. And all of that, ladies and gentlemen, will be in the description box below. And you know where to find it. It's right below that little red subscribe button. And if you haven't done so already, please do. So, Chanel, let's make this actionable. So, we're going to talk back to the business owners and the network and the plethora of blessings that have come to you by one, being obedient, but also expanding your horizons. What's one
That's the key, the obedience.
Yes. But what's one actionable thing that you would tell every emerging or established entrepreneur that's within the sound of your voice? What's one thing you would share with them?
What's one thing?
What would you tell
What's the
them to do
call?
today? What do they need to do today?
Join Black. No.
Okay.
Um,
One. What's the second thing?
that's always the call to action. It's to join the chamber.
Right.
Get plugged into the resource, get plugged into what's going on in the Black community. I mean, there's so many businesses out here, there's so many opportunities, and unless you're plugged in or you know the right people, like you said, it's all who you know. It's all about your network, and I think Black has one of the best networks out here.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. And I challenge everyone to join and find out. Join and hold Chanel the feet to the line. I say that's what we do. No, thank you so much, Chanel, because the relationship of, I love the balance in your life, the give and the get, that you're
Mhm.
participating so actively in the business community and then seeding our future and our legacy through the young people that you interact with. I couldn't think of a better person to talk about relationships. And if you guys haven't done so already, please check the description box below for all the interactive information and the links to Academic Balling and to Chanel and to GLAC. We'll actually even include the link to the organization as well. But thank you so much, Chanel.
Thank you, Rhonda. It was such a pleasure talking with you today. And happy anniversary. Your 1 year is coming up. This is an awesome show, a great platform, and much success to year number 2.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll have you back. We'll have you back.
Thank you.